Hello there, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for deciding to click on today's video. We are going to be doing the 18 products I regret not buying in 2018. So that's kind of a mouthful, but these are products that I wish that I had bought in this year that for some reason or another I didn't make the purchase, and I'm going to be sharing them with you guys in this video. These are items that are mostly still available, so I still could decide to pick them up in 2019, but these are ones that come to the top of my head in 2018 that I wish I had added to my makeup collection. So if you guys want to know what those are, go ahead and keep on watching. In my top drugstore products of 2018 video, I think I had talked about doing a video of like products I regret not buying in 2018. So I thought I could do actually 18 products I regret not buying in 2018. So when I sat down to think, the products just started like flooding into my brain. And a lot of these products are still available and I still want to purchase some of them, but there is just something that held me back from ordering them this year. And for some reason or another, I never made the purchase. So we're gonna run through all of these products. Maybe you guys can help me down in the comment section know which ones maybe I should buy. I don't know. So let's go ahead and start. So the first one that I wish I would have bought this year is the Huda Beauty New Nude Palette. I went back and forth with this palette so many times. I had it in my cart so many times and I just never actually put it through. Like I never made the purchase. I swatched it in store even. They were out of stock. I think had I had it like in stock that day I was in the store like swatching it, I probably would have bought it. But kind of a lot of these products on my list are like a big reason why sometimes I feel like I don't get the products is if I'm like late to getting them, like say I maybe forgot to get them those first, like that first week they release, then I kind of feel like, oh, okay, like my review's kind of behind, so does anyone really want to see it in a few weeks, you know? So a lot of times I feel like I psych myself out in my head, like you don't need that, you can't even review it, so like why are you even getting it? It's old news. Like, are you really gonna use it? Because I'm always constantly putting so many palettes into my collection to review and also receiving a lot of palettes. So I kind of feel like sometimes when I buy stuff that isn't really new anymore, I don't really get a ton of use out of it because I'm always trying to review new stuff. So that was kind of one of the palettes that happened with, to where I just decided like, you don't need it, it's old news. Although I did see so many pretty reviews with it and I still do really want it. It's a $65 palette. So I think that also held me back because it is a more pricier palette. And then hand in hand, the Naked Cherry palette from Urban Decay. I never ended up buying it. I don't even know what happened. I was set on buying it and then it kind of just like came and went. And honestly, like I kind of really haven't heard much about it. So I kind of just forgot about it. And then when I sat down to think about the items I wanted to add to this list, that is one that came to mind. But for whatever reason, I just never actually ended up putting the order through. So I never got it. I regret not getting it because I do have a lot of the Naked palettes in my collection, and I think I would really enjoy the palette because that's my tones. Like those mauvier shades are my favorite tones to wear, so I still think I would get a lot of use out of it. I don't know why I didn't actually end up making the purchase. I think it was kind of one of those things, like it had been weeks and I was like, I guess I don't need it. So this next palette, if you guys watched my 9 brands I want to try in 2019, I talked about this palette a little bit. So this is the Natasha Denona Gold palette. And you guys, I'm still wanting this palette. I'm regretting not buying it because I can't get it out of my brain. I don't think that there's been a palette for a long time that I've wanted so much that I just like can't get it out of my brain. Like I want this palette. I'm going to get this palette. I just don't know when, and it wasn't purchased in this year. I've seen so many incredible, beautiful looks with this palette. The reason I haven't purchased it is because it is expensive. I think it's $129, and I'm never gonna spend $129 on a palette. Like I don't plan on doing that. So I'm kind of waiting for it to go on sale. I'm thinking it might because I know that is like a limited edition holiday release. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, it's gonna go on sale and then I'm gonna purchase it. But I had a gift card, I had a coupon, and I still didn't get it. So maybe if it's still available for like the spring sale at Sephora, I will get it then, because I think I just need like an incentive, because there's no way I'm gonna spend $129 on one palette. The next item is the Marc Jacobs Omega Bronzer. Now, this is an item that I told myself I was gonna get in 2018. I think when it first came out, it was very hard to get your hands on. It was always out of stock, but now it's kind of like old news in a sense, so it's been, I feel like, in stock for a long time. But I just haven't been able to do it. Something's been holding me back. I was just recently with a friend at the mall and she was like, you need this bronzer. It's the most amazing thing in the world. And she just reminded me how much I still wanted it. I still look at it at Sephora all the time and I just haven't bought it. I think the reason is because I have so many bronzers in my collection. I'm always trying new ones as well. And I don't know, there's something about that like $50 price that I just can't bite the bullet on. But maybe 2019 will be the year I get it because I still really want it. So this next one is actually something that kind of makes me mad. So Flower Beauty has their strobe and highlighting palettes. And I've had this on my list to get for so long. I've seen so many people rave about it. Recently, in a lot of Best of Beauty videos, I've seen that in there as well. And I was so mad because I believe it was Black Friday or Cyber Monday. I had it in my cart because Flower Beauty was doing like 40% off or something like that. And I took it out of my cart because I decided I didn't need another highlighter. And I instantly regretted it the next day and was like, why didn't you get that? So I still regret not getting that. I still want to purchase it and I definitely will purchase it because I've been seeing amazing reviews on that. And I'm always looking for more affordable options to incorporate here on my channel. And I don't know, something was like, you don't need another highlighter. So I didn't get it, but it was like instant regret. Like I wish as soon as I didn't get it, I got it. Another affordable product this year that I didn't pick up that I wish I would have was the Milani Soft and Sultry palette. This is another palette that I feel like is talked about a lot. A lot of people really enjoy it. My only excuse with not getting that one is I think because it was like a $20 drugstore palette, I was like, that's kind of pricey. Even knowing I buy $50 palettes all the time, for some reason when a drugstore product is like a little bit higher up there, it just kind of holds me back a little bit because sometimes I have a hard time finding drugstore eyeshadow palettes that I feel like match the quality of my higher end palettes. So I get pretty disappointed when I spend like the $15 to $20 range for a palette that I never get use out of, which I think was what prevented me from ordering the Milani palette. I think they came out with another one with that one. And then I constantly saw reviews of people saying how good they were. And I still want to go ahead and pick one of those up, either the warm one or like I said, the more cool toned one. I think they're both really pretty and I do regret not purchasing those this year. A foundation I regret not purchasing is the Makeup Forever Velvet Skin Foundation. So I've heard awesome things about this foundation and when it came out I remember thinking like I want to try this. The Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation is one that I like but it's not my favorite and I think that that's what prevented me from purchasing this new foundation from them is that everybody raves about the Ultra HD foundation and I think it was kind of one of those things that I felt like I should love, so I felt like I loved it. But now that knowing like my makeup preferences and things, I realized how much I don't necessarily love that foundation, so I think that's what prohibited me from ordering the new one from them. But I've continued to see it again in these Best of 2018 videos, which I feel like is good and bad. I think that it's good to obviously hear people's recommendations, but it just makes me wish like I purchased all the things that I wanted to purchase when I hear them in those videos. Jouer Essential High Coverage Concealer. This is one that is on my list. I'm planning on purchasing it. It has been out of stock at Sephora for so long and I hear everyone talking about it and I love trying out new concealers. It's one of my favorite things to try. I've really gotten into them this past year and I've tried so many amazing ones, but I keep hearing a lot of recommendations about the Jouer one and I know I wanted to purchase it when it first came out, but what stopped me is they came out with a foundation. It was called the Full Coverage. I can't exactly remember, but they came out with a foundation this year as well. And I remember I got a sample of that and I hated how it looked on my skin. It was so thick, so matte. It reminded me a lot of the Huda Beauty foundation, which I did not enjoy at all. So I kind of got nervous with the concealer, kind of thinking it would be something very similar, something that's really heavy on the skin. And I knew it was supposed to be full coverage coverage, and I just got kind of nervous that it would be like too full coverage. So I didn't end up purchasing it, but I've heard nothing but amazing things about it ever since then, and it is still on my list. As soon as it comes back into stock at Sephora, I think I will go ahead and purchase it. I think it's right about $22, so it's a little bit pricey, but not like the highest priced concealer for high end, so I'll definitely still be trying that one out, but it is one that I do regret not getting. The Anastasia Beverly Hills Sultry palette. So I decided, I have bought every single Anastasia palette for like since I feel like Modern Renaissance. I'm pretty sure I've gotten every single one after Modern Renaissance. And for some reason, I decided I did not need the Sultry palette. I was like, no, you don't need it. Like, those aren't even colors that you really wear. You just don't need it. So I decided to hold strong and not get it, and I didn't, and I did get it, and I didn't purchase it. But lately I've been seeing so many pretty looks with it, and I know it's like a more cool toned palette, and I actually don't really have a lot of palettes like that in my collection. And so when I looked at the colors in there, I was like, you know, you don't really wear those kind of colors, you don't need it. But in my head, like now, I'm kind of like, well, I don't wear those colors because I don't have those colors necessarily. So I think if I had the palette, I think I might get use out of it. I still want to get it, but I did so good not purchasing it. I was so proud of myself too, and now I just regret it. This is another year that has gone by where I regret not purchasing the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. This is like year 3, I think. I've been wanting this foundation, and every single time I tell myself I'm gonna get it at the Sephora VIB sale, and every single year I don't purchase it. So this is another year that has gone by that I have not purchased it. I just had someone telling me how amazing it was the other day, asking if I've tried it, and I'm like, no, I still haven't tried it. I just can't bite the bullet. It is so expensive. It is such an expensive foundation. And even with a coupon, it's still so expensive that I just can't do it. But I want to try it so bad. I've gotten a sample at Sephora before, and I did really like the way it looked on my skin, which also kind of, I think, contributed to the fact that I haven't bought it, because I'm nervous that I'm really going to like it, and I don't want to have to be repurchasing a $60 foundation. So I think even trying it made me feel like I don't want to get it even more, even knowing I still want it so badly. High-end product is the Dior Backstage Highlighting Palette. That is something that I went and I swatched in Sephora, and after I swatched that palette, I cannot get it out of my brain. It's a little bit pricey. Well, it's a lot bit pricey. It's $45, but you do get 4 highlighting shades. The thing that's held me back from ordering this or from purchasing it is that there are like 3 more wearable highlights for me, and then there's a deeper highlight shade. And I know I won't get any use out of that deeper highlight shade just because it won't work for my skin tone. And I didn't want to purchase the palette because it is pricey, and the fact that I can only get use out of 2 to 3 shades just kind of stopped me from ordering it. But every single time I see it, I swatch it, and I swear to you guys, it's the most beautiful highlight like I've ever swatched before. And I just feel like I still want it. I still need it. So I might purchase it at the like Sephora sale or something like that. I've also been hearing really good things about the Backstage contouring palette as well. So I've kind of had my eye on that one. But I don't know. I just, something about it is just telling me like you don't need it. But yet I still want it. So this next one, I'm surprised that I didn't purchase, and I just don't know why I haven't purchased it since. This is the Colourpop Dream Street palette. This is the palette that they did in collaboration with Kathleen Lights, and I don't know why I never purchased this palette. I think it's right around $20 or $18, something like that. It's super affordable. The colors are totally my vibes when it comes to eyeshadow palettes. I think for some reason it's kind of like one of those things where I didn't purchase it when it came out, and I kept hearing people talk about it, and I'd had it in my cart I think multiple times, and still I was kind of just like, you don't need it, you don't need it. So I just never purchased it. And I kind of regret not having it because I think a lot of people really enjoy that palette, and I do think I would get a lot of use out of it, and I think I would like it as well. But I also kind of feel like I don't need it still. So it's kind of one of those palettes that I regret, but I don't think I will end up purchasing because I still kind of feel like I don't need it. The Hourglass Veil Translucent Powder. This is a powder that has gotten a lot of hype, that a lot of people have really been raving about, and I've had the sample size, or like the deluxe size, in my cart so many times, but I just haven't bought it. $18 just for the little mini one, and I have been so in love with my Rimmel Stay Matte powder that is only like $6 from the drugstore, that the idea of purchasing a high-end powder is just not something that I did this year, because I found that powder and I love it, and I just don't think I need to purchase, you know, a $40 powder at this moment. So that kind of goes hand in hand with my next product, which is the Milk, what is it called? The Milk Makeup Blur and Set Powder. That is another one that I really wanted to try that I didn't end up purchasing. I still want to try both of those powders, but like I said, I just have a favorite within the drugstore that now I'm kind of like, should I still get those high-end powders, or should I just stay with my more affordable one? I really want to try them though, and I do regret not purchasing before I found the Rimmel one, because now I just don't know if I'm ever going to purchase like a high-end powder again. I really want to try that one from Lawless too, but I just don't know that I'm going to love it as much as my Rimmel, and I kind of feel like, I don't know, $7 powder versus $40 powder, I just don't know if there'll be much of a difference. I guess I don't know until I purchase. A highlight, again, that I wish I would have gotten is the Natasha Denona All Over Glow highlight. I wish I would have gotten this highlight. So I want to get the shade Light. I hear so many people talking about how beautiful these highlighters are, and the reason I never purchased is because they are $38 highlights, and I actually didn't go too crazy with the Sephora sale. They had like 2 different sales this last year, or 3, and I haven't really went like nuts with any of them. I've been shopping a lot more at Ulta this year. I feel like a lot more brands are at Ulta. I just enjoy their point system more there. So I think I just haven't made as many purchases from Sephora, and I think a lot of these brands are available at Sephora and not necessarily Ulta, which I think is another reason why I haven't made a lot of these purchases. But the Natasha Denona highlighter is so beautiful. I see it in so many people's tutorial a lot, and I just think it looks so gorgeous. I think I need it. I just haven't purchased it quite yet. NARS Climax Mascara is another one of those that I hear people recommending all the time. They say how good it is, but it's kind of the same thing as the powder. I have so many drugstore mascaras that I love so much that I just don't find the need to purchase a high-end mascara, although I do have a lot of high-end mascaras that I really enjoy, like my one from Lancome, that I would repurchase. I just don't know that I want to try another mascara when I have so many favorite drugstore ones. So I do regret not trying it this year, but I don't know if that's gonna make me purchase it this coming year. So we just have 2 different products left. Another one that I regret is the Huda Beauty Smoky Obsessions palette. So I have quite a few Obsessions palettes. I have the electric one and I have the coral one. I think maybe I don't. I thought I had one more, but maybe I don't. But I regret not getting the smoky one. The electric one I don't really use too often. I think when I saw it, the colors in it were so fun and so pretty, and I just thought I needed it, but it's not a palette that I necessarily reach into. It's a lot of bright colors, and I kind of just wish I got the smoky palette instead. I still want to get it. I love the little mini palettes. I think they're so fun, so nice. So I still want to purchase that one. I regret not getting it instead of the coral one as well, because I really don't reach for that one a lot. So I wish I would have just gotten that one and maybe the mauve one instead. So those are still on my list. Maybe I can declutter the other 2 and get the smoky one instead. The last product I regret not buying in 2018 is the Smashbox Studio Skin Hydrating Foundation. This is a foundation that I hear recommended a ton. It's supposed to be like a 15-hour wear foundation, and I see people using it a lot in tutorials, and it looks super, super pretty on the skin. I often hear people saying that it's like their favorite for, you know, events and things like that. So I do want to try this foundation. I had it in my cart multiple times to purchase, but I just never ended up doing it. So I do regret not trying it. I still want to try it. So I think it's one that I am going to try in this next coming year. But after that, that is going to do it for all of the products that I regret not buying in 2018. You guys can let me know down below if I did a good job with not getting some of these products, or if I should go ahead and buy them. Let me know if any of these are your guys' favorites, or what products maybe you guys regret not getting it this year. Leave them down in the comment section down below. If you love this video, give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel before you guys go, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, friends.